We are good.
Good.
I think. Hold on. What does that say?
Yep.
Oh, my God. It's transcribing everything.
All set, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to open the Contract Administration Board meeting for December 13th, 2021 at 4:05 p.m. In attendance for today's meeting is the Honorable Andrew Joyce, Chairman of the Albany County Legislature, Deputy County Executive Dan Lynch, and Bruce A. Hidley, Albany County Clerk. Before we begin to accept the previous meeting minutes, first of all, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, as this will be our last meeting before January of 2022. So I hope that all of your families are safe and happy and enjoy your holiday season.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
All righty, so at this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the November 8th, 2020 meeting minutes.
Andrew Joyce, I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Thank you. All right, we're going to open up the meeting with contract number 6732. It's the District Attorney's Office. The vendor is Relentless Awareness, LLC. The scope of service is social digital media management. The term is 12/14/21 through 12/31 of 2023. It's a 2-year contract. The amount is $45,000. I now open the floor for comments and questions and ask that you give your name for the record, please.
You're on mute, Heather.
Thank you, Dan. Heather Orth from the District Attorney's Office. So just to kind of point out that we have the first two contracts on for today. It's 6732 and 6731. And the reason that I'm kind of going into a little bit of detail first is because we did one RFP. And what we were looking for is a company to help us with our communication, quite frankly. There's a lot going on right now in public safety and law enforcement, and there's a lot of advocacy in terms of individuals that will advocate for different cases or different lobby for different laws. And there's a whole host, there's an army out there that quite frankly have created a narrative in terms of what law enforcement is and what law enforcement does. And so what we have determined is that we kind of need a little bit of an army ourselves to talk about the good things that are going on in the community, the good things that are going on within our organization, the recovery programs that we support, the alternatives to incarceration, because they're not quite frankly advertised. No one will pick them up. It's not the news of the day. People want to hear terrible things, and that's what sells newspapers. And so first of all, our website is very behind. It's not supported anymore. We're having a hard time keeping it online. It routinely gets booted off because the software is too old. So we do need to upgrade our website. And we also need to add in all of the new features, Twitter, social media, and all of those, Snapchat, all of them, so that we can continue to reach our audiences who are not consuming traditional media in the ways that they have in the past. So we put out an RFP to do both, which was build a new website and then help us reach our users in a I guess, newer age than we had 10 years ago when we did our website. And what we found is that there was a company called Relentless Awareness that was a local company that understood the local nuances of law enforcement in this area. And they were the individuals that we wanted to help us with our communication with our local community. And then the next contract, which is Jesse Dreams Creative, we wanted them to help with our website. So the first contract is that social digital media Relentless Awareness piece, and that will be for a term of 2 years. We anticipate paying them monthly for the work that they do and for each campaign that they help us with in terms of getting that information out. And that amount will not go above $45,000 for the 2 years. And we anticipate that it's split pretty evenly between 2022 and 2023.
So are there any other comments or questions for Heather?
This is Andrew.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Hey, Heather. So since we kind of were talking about both at once, I do have questions about both.
Hey, Andrew.
The website.
Andrew, can we please just entertain comments or questions for just 6732, which is Relentless Awareness?
Okay, well, it's Relentless Awareness is for both, Bruce. Correct?
No.
Well, no.
No.
Jesse James Creative is a different contract in the amount of 44,250. So right now
Okay.
we're on Relentless Awareness at 45,000 for 2 years.
Okay.
So
So for 6732, for the social media management for the district attorney's office, I mean, the DA has a director of communications making $74,000 a year. How do you anticipate, this contractor to work with a director of communications to kind of achieve this mission that you're trying to achieve here?
So they have the ability to amplify things in ways that we don't. So we send out a traditional press release. We do Twitter. We do, things that a government agency with a lot of restrictions on it, quite frankly, can do. Anything that our director of communications does is really seen as an arm of the district attorney. And there's a lot of prohibitions that are on the types of public statements that a district attorney can make. A company, while also, yes, working for the district attorney, has the ability to utilize other tools in their toolbox that we don't, quite frankly, have. And so Cecilia, I don't know, Cecilia's on the call as well. She is the one who is in charge of this RFP and really did a great job in terms of vetting all of these agencies. And Cecilia, are there any details that I'm leaving out that you have in terms of what they're going to help us with? And Cecilia will be seamlessly communicating with them.
Yes, to speak to that, the Relentless Aware company has a global reach. They're coast to coast, but regionally, they really are experts in the lay of the land as to governmental work and how different agencies intersect so that we can amplify the best messaging we have depending on what we're talking about. Say we're talking about a financial crimes elder abuse prevention month campaign. They can really help work with other agencies to kind of get the message out so we can reach our constituents in the ways that other agencies are frankly able to do. When we're talking about combating a narrative of anti-police, anti-prosecution, we want to be able to maybe partner with colleges or other agencies that will allow the messaging of what actual rights are for people who may be confused about what they're hearing on the news. And how to really cut through the noise on that, because we are so limited. When a case is open, we are not able to comment on specifics. If the case involves a police officer that is accused, or let's say a high-ranking former member of state government, we are very limited as to what we are able to say in that regard publicly. So we do anticipate in the next year needing assistance in that regard.
Okay, so all messaging for the DA's office will still be done through the traditional channels that you've normally used, and Relentless Awareness is going to provide consulting or advice, or I'm just confused as to what the amplification means. Like, how is that? Because you mentioned that the DA is bound by what he or she cannot say. So what does amplification mean, and are they providing consulting services or advice to do communication through your normal channels? Or is it something new?
So Cecilia obviously, already has a full-time job answering, the numerous media requests that come in, requests from the public, requests from other, county agencies in terms of what's going on within, the organization. What she doesn't have time for is, going to that college and doing education and helping people kind of find out what are your rights. It's not. There's just no time in the day to take the messages that Cecilia and the DA are creating and finding those niche communities where that information is needed, it's necessary, but we're not penetrating those communities or those pockets of, elder abuse, right? We're not penetrating an elder facility where a bunch of, our seniors live. If they're reading their news directly from or they're seeing it on Channel 6 if Channel 6 doesn't pick up our story. So Relentless Awareness would be able to then go in and figure out what media are those specific pocket of people that we're trying to reach with this story. What are they consuming, and finding it and getting it into, their hands, so that the audiences that we're trying to reach with each message that we put out, right? Don't leave your children unattended in a car with the car running. Like all of those different things, we don't have the ability other than traditional media outlets, and they will be able to do a lot more of the research to figure out how can we actually provide this public safety information to the people that need it and get it in their hands, because they're not watching, they're not reading the Times Union because that's a subscription now, and they're not watching the 6 o'clock news because nobody watches the news really anymore unless you're watching live TV, and they're all consuming it via YouTube TV or another means. So it's really trying to bridge that divide between how we were able to communicate with the public 10 years ago versus how we have to figure out how to communicate with the public now.
Okay, so all communications is still being handled through the DA's office. This isn't like a second or third voice, on behalf of the county, if you understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, and absolutely no, everything will still be run through the DA's office. This is not an individual who would be speaking for the DA on any circumstance. It would be someone who's literally just helping us reach audiences and get that information to them.
Well, I think I support it, and anything new that we can do to help protect the people of this county against criminal elements and make us smarter and more effective to do that and increase your capability there is great. I just wanted a bit more clarity on that.
Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think those were very excellent questions for the DA's office, and I personally believe that you're moving into the right direction. This is the right thing to do. Any way you can reach the constituency in Albany County, the better it is for all of us. So, Dan, do you have anything else?
Well, now I feel, I have to ask something. No, and I agree, and certainly understand the need. I'm just curious on the timing of the RFP going out and the timing of the request for the award. So can you explain that?
Sure. Capacity for Heather Orth to do the things. Quite frankly, we had the RFP go out at the beginning, the end of last year, the beginning of this year. We had a really great response to the RFP. To be honest, there was a ton of companies that did submit materials. Cecilia did an amazing job of really going through and bullet pointing all of it for us. And I want to say by June, we had all gone through everything under Cecilia's direction and created the cheat sheets there. And so Cecilia was ready to go. And then it's, sitting down and figuring out, do we have the capacity to work with these new vendors if and when this contract passes? And we've just, quite frankly, had a lot going on in the organization. We've got a lot going on with, the comptroller's office and with other cases that are coming in the office. And this was when we were able to get it on the agenda.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
This is Dan Lynch. I'll make a motion.
Andrew Joyce, second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract 6732 is approved. Now we go to contract number 6731, the district attorney. The vendor is Jesse James Creative. The scope of service, design and host new website for the office of the district attorney. The term of the contract would be 12/14/21 through 12/31/22. And the amount of this contract for this one-year term would be $44,250. I now open the floor for comments or questions, and I know our chairman of the legislature had one for you.
Well, I didn't know if the district attorney's office wanted to go into a brief description of and then it might answer my question. So.
Okay. Again, Heather Orth from the DA's office, not on mute this time, starting off. So we have, this is the company that we have chosen to design the new website. There's a great deal of functionality within the offerings that this company gave to us. And what, obviously we have discovery obligations and a whole host of digital things that we have moved towards digitally in the past 3 years now. And what this vendor offered was the ability to continue to do that with some of our own internal programs. So we have our felony accountability board. And so what this offered us to do was have accounts internally for each board member that we could share digital information with and case information with securely. It offers a whole host of, and Cecilia knows this stuff better than I, so I don't want to put you on the spot, Cecilia, but could you give us some of the pieces that this website offers that our current website will not?
Sure, and this because of the capabilities that this company offers, they have their own content management system, a CMS. So most companies will use things like WordPress or things that maybe you've heard of in that are more general. They have a very specific proprietary program that allows for your company to have a portal under a safe and secure network so that we can have members of our various task force get their own credentialed logins and we can easily share redacted information. Right now, when we have these meetings, we're printing out or we're sending out voluminous digital copies, which takes a lot of time for our staff. So if we have one central repository for our task force community members to log in, that was just one feature that we thought would be very helpful for efficiency and economy of our staff, as well as just getting the, going green and having less paper having to be printed. There also is capabilities that they offer. Two things I think would, they offer a few more than others, but two things I think really stand out are their GIS mapping, where they can take crime data and actually plot it onto a map of Albany County, and we can see where different crimes are happening and hopefully then cross over our press releases so that people can see what's going on in their areas. Having this as a component for e-governance moving forward, I think is something other jurisdictions are doing. They're moving in this direction. So we really are just kind of keeping up with the Joneses of some of the bigger counties in the state and really bringing this capability upstate. And the other area that I think they do really well is calendaring, where they can show different court calendars. So if someone wants to know what's going on in a local court, they don't have to call and wait for the clerk's office. We can hopefully help migrate and import dockets more seamlessly for people. So to get that information out to the public in the way that is most efficient. And lastly, it is a really great smartphone option. So for readability, 80% of people read news and content on their tablets or smartphones. So it'll have a great component for that as well.
My apologies to both of the colleagues on the Contract Administration Board. I neglected to tell you that the fiscal impact on both of those 6732 and 6731 are 100% county funded, for the record. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, this is Andrew Joyce.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Good, Bruce. Thank you.
Yes,
for the DA's office, did we contact the county's IT department and determine whether or not they could do this stuff in-house before we put it out to the vendor?
We did not. We put the RFP out to everyone, and I don't believe the current vendor submitted a bid.
Okay, I mean, you have a current website right now. How is that website administered?
It is not administered by the county. It's always, for the DA's office website has always been separate. And so it's administered by another company. We created it, had to be about 10 years ago. LNP Media was the vendor that created the website, and they have since gone under, and they sold the hosting to a company called Nesset. And so Nesset is currently hosting our site, but it's extremely outdated. I mean, every day that it's up, we're happy that it is still running.
Okay, I'm just curious, is there a reason why the district attorney's office goes outside of the county for your web services?
So I don't know if there's a reason. I know that we did ours 10 years ago. I know that when I think the county exec recently, not recently, but the county's websites were recently done after we did ours. I don't know when, and we were not contacted to be a part of that contract. So I don't have the answer for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Dan?
No questions.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion, please.
It's Andrew Joyce. I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6731 is approved. Thank you to both Heather and Cecilia for a fine presentation and answering all of our questions.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you all. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Next on the agenda is contract number 6672. The department is Emergency Telephone, E911. The vendor is Mission Critical Partners. The estimated amount is $65,096. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 12/31 of 22. The scope of service is network monitoring with CAD on-site services. This contract is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments and questions, and please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Demarest with 911. This has a real big technical answer, but I'll just try to keep it simple. This is for Albany County's 1/3 share of the Rensselaer, Saratoga, and Albany County CAD 911 record system. Basically, what this company does is monitor the network for cybersecurity.
Would you mind just for the record, in case anybody's watching or anything, can you just tell them what CAD means? What the acronym CAD is for?
Yes, sir. CAD is computer aided dispatch. RMS is records management system. And I'll try not to throw out any other acronyms.
No, that's all right. That's all I wanted. So I'll open.
Kevin, I was saying that I thank you for not going super technical. Appreciate it.
Any other comments or
like
questions?
Go ahead.
I'll entertain a motion, please.
Andrew, I'm sorry. This is Dan Lynch. I'll make the motion.
Andrew Joyce, a second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Your contract number 6672 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great holiday and good New Year.
Next on the agenda is contract number 6673. The department is probation. The vendor is Odomon. The estimated amount is $30,745. The estimated term is 1/15/22 through 1/14/2023. The scope of services to provide support and maintenance of the probation electronic record system caseload explorer, and this fiscal impact is 100% to the county. I now open the floor for comments or questions, and I ask that you please supply your name for the record.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is William Connors. I'm the probation director. This program we've had for over 10 years. This is a renewal. It provides pretty much every function we do on probation with all of our services, including an accounting module for financially collect restitution and disperse that to victims. This software is in every probation department in New York State. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
It's Andrew Joyce. I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6673 is approved. Thank you, Bill. Contract number 6670, department is probation. The vendor is Satellite Tracking of People LLC. The estimated amount is $90,000. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 12/31 of 22. The fiscal impact for this is broken down into two categories. The county is 72% and the state is 28%. The scope of services is quite lengthy, so I'll have Bill just give us a real recap of exactly what's going to happen here.
Thank you, Bruce. So we've been providing GPS on a limited basis on the probation department for probably close to 18 years. In 2018, a couple of new laws were enacted in New York State, bail reform and raise the age, which put mandates on us to provide additional services to the courts of Albany County for GPS. GPS is global positioning tracking. So this is actually an ankle bracelet placed upon an offender, and they're tracked wherever they go. Some have special conditions set by the court, some do not, but it's mandated under law, and any court in Albany County can order it at any given time. This vendor we've had since last year, and this is a renewal. And I think when you break it down, it's like $3 a day. And so we're just trying to renew the contract going forward for this year to continue to provide the service. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Mr. Clerk. Bill, good afternoon. Just wondering, last year, this was a renewal, if I heard you correctly. So last year was a not to exceed 90,000 as well?
Yes.
And did we go over that budget, or were we under the budgeted amount?
We were under it.
Okay.
Well,
Any idea of by how much?
I think it was about 30,000 we spent last year.
Okay. 30,000 was spent?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So so for the purposes of our CAB board, so then this would be a sum not to exceed $90,000 for 1 year, correct? Bill?
Initially, when I did it, the contract last year, I thought it was 90 per year. Our budget line would cover that. So my expectation with my original contract last year was for $90,000, and for another extension for another $90,000 for this year.
For 90 each.
Any other comments? Andrew?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Dan Lynch will make a motion.
Andrew Joyce, a second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Contract number 6670 is approved. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
Contract number 6718, the department is the Health Department. The vendor is St. Peter's Hospital, Spark. The estimated amount is $32,000. The estimated term is 5/1/21 through 8/31 of 2022. The scope of service is a request to amend contract 6491 of 2021 to an updated contract ending date of 8/31 of 22 due to vendor delays in onboarding staff. Vendor to assist providers to become more comfortable managing patients with opioid use disorder and other substance use disorders in their practices. This contract, the fiscal impact is 100% state funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions, and please state your name for the record.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Shanna Witherspoon for the Department of Health. This was a previously approved CAB contract, and unfortunately, the vendor had delays in onboarding staff. So we are requesting the end date to be pushed out to August 31st, 2022. And the scope of services is that the vendor will provide various trainings to primary care practices to help them become more comfortable managing patients with opioid use disorder through trainings like raising confidence, setting functional goals for patients, non-opioid management of pain. And this is 100% grant funded through our opioid data testing grant.
All right, any other comments or questions? Like to entertain a motion?
Andrew Joyce, I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6718 is approved. Thank you, Shanna. Contract number 6717, Department of Health. The vendor is KIP Albany Schools. The estimated amount is $60,000. The estimated term is 8/1/21 through 7/31/22. And the scope of service to reimburse KIPP Albany for COVID-19 surveillance testing in their school. We were reimbursed $20 each test for students and staff. Funding provided by the ELC school grant, amount not to exceed $60,000. And the fiscal impact is 100% state funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions, and I would assume that Shanna is still with us.
Yes, I am. Again, Shanna Witherspoon for the Health Department. So this is a charter school within the city of Albany who is adhering to the governor's mandate of surveillance testing once a week in their school for K-12 students and any unvaccinated teachers. We do offer testing that is free to the schools through our another contract that we have with Quadrant Testing. This school, though, decided to go with another vendor, but we are still obligated to reimburse them for their testing. So what we are doing is, although they are paying more for their test, I believe they are charged $50 per test. Since what we provide all the other schools cost $20 per test, we are reimbursing them $20 for each rapid antigen test that they provide for their students and staff, amount not to exceed $60,000, and it is provided by the ELC school opening grant.
Any other questions or comments for Shanna? I'll entertain a motion, please.
Dan Lynch will make a motion.
Andy Joyce, a second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract 6717 is passed. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
You
Next
too.
on the agenda is contract number 6728. Department is Mental Health. The vendor is Catholic Charities Care Coordination Services. The estimated amount is $97,050. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 6/30/23. The scope of service is to expand case management capacity of the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Initiative through hiring of additional case manager, as well as ancillary costs associated with case management delivery and the new staff. This fiscal impact is 100% to the state. I now open the floor for comments and questions, and please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pat Alderson from the County Executive's Office. I'll be presenting this on behalf of the Department of Mental Health. And Dr. Giordano, please feel free to jump in if I misstate or leave out anything. This is to sub-award a contract which was awarded to the Department of Mental Health from the New York State Office of Homes and Community Renewal, the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act appropriation. This has passed the legislature in early December. I believe it's resolution 489. And this is just a motion to sub-award that portion of the contract to Catholic Charities, who is the case management provider for Albany Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion. They're the sole provider of case management for the initiative. And this, as a result, there was a sole sourcing exemption, so this didn't require an RFP or anything like that.
Any other comments or questions? I'd like to entertain a motion.
This is Andrew Joyce. I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract 6728 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract number 6662. Department is Mental Health. The vendor is Catholic Charities. The estimated amount is $41,605. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 12/31/22. The scope of service is to provide case management service to homeless women suffering from mental illness or co-occurring disorders at Mercy House. Staff seeks to link women with treatment and permanent housing. Once again, the fiscal impact for this is 100% state funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
This is Steve Giordano at the Mental Health Department. Good afternoon to the contract board. And thank you to Patrick for presenting the lead item previously. So, Mr. Clerk, you stated this accurately. This is 100% state funded, a renewal to provide case management services and housing resources at Mercy House, which is a 19-bed shelter that is overseen by our DSS department. These funds are to set aside resources for women who are suffering from co-occurring mental health and addiction disorders. And as I say, it's a renewal. We've been passing this money through for a number of years with good success.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Dan Lynch will make a motion.
Andrew Joyce will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6662 is approved. Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Contract number 6663, department is Contract Narcotic Addiction. The vendor is Albany Diocesan School Board. The estimated amount is $45,132. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 12/31 of 22. And the scope of service, it provides evidence-based substance abuse prevention services to students attending Albany Catholic schools. And the fiscal impact is 100% state funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Yes, this is Steve Giordano again. This is also a long-standing contract that we've had with the with the Albany Diocese.
Tongue twister.
That was a tongue twister. I can't say it, but I do know them. And we have worked with great success. They provide prevention services throughout their schools in Albany County. We have a host of pass-through money that comes to other school districts and other programs in Albany County that exceed this amount. But this is for those schools that are contained within the diocese. And it's 100% OASIS money, and we would hope that you approve it.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion, please.
This is Andrew Joyce. I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Contract number 6663 is approved. Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everyone. Be safe, be well.
That's what $8 million was.
Next on the agenda is contract number 6686. The department is aging. The vendor is Jewish Family Services of NENY. The estimated amount is $26,076. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 12/31 of 22. Scope of service is the contractor shall provide kosher home delivered meals to eligible older adults 60 and older residing in Albany County. Now, this fiscal impact is broken into two categories. The first, the state will pick up 89.67% of the impact, and the federal government will pick up the balance of 10.33%. I now open the floor for comments or questions, and please state your name for the record.
Hi, it's Deborah Tano. We are looking for approval for this money for home delivered meals that will be kosher and also accepted by the Muslim community. So it happened during the pandemic. Reason being that when we closed the congregate sites, we moved as many people as we could to home delivered meals. We needed an outlet for those who were eating at the Jewish Community Center that kept kosher. So we began a Kosher Express, and that's what this money would be for.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion, please.
Dan Lynch will make a motion.
Andrew Joyce, second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Contract number 6666 is approved. Thank you, Deb. Contract number 6679, the department is aging. The vendor is the Colony Senior Service Centers. The estimated amount is $44,996. The scope of service is the contractor shall provide social adult day services to eligible older adults 60 years and older. SADS includes supervision, monitoring personal care, and nutritional meal in a protective setting for less than 24 hours. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 12/31 of 22. The fiscal impact of this is broken down into two categories. The county will pick up 10%, and the federal government will pick up 90%. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Hi, this is for our social adult daycare. As you know, isolation and we need social interaction for our seniors. The pandemic has certainly ramped that up. We're happy to see that our adult daycare centers are opening again, and we're very pleased. This was a result of an RFP from Colony.
Any other comments or questions? I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
This is Andrew Joyce. I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6679 is approved. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you. God bless. Merry Christmas.
Contract number 6690, Department of Sewage Treatment. The vendor is Eastern Industrial Automation. The estimated amount is $30,000. The estimated term is 12/14/21 through 12/13 of 2022. The scope of service to purchase and deliver of various bearings and seals for the pumps that are located at both the north and south treatment plants. And the fiscal impact for this is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions, and please state your name for the record.
Thank you. This is Angelo Gaudio with the Water Purification District. 4 bids were received. Eastern Industrial Automation was the lowest responsible bidder. One of the vendors actually did not provide bids for all the items on the bid list, so they were disqualified. As you indicated, this is for miscellaneous bearings and seals for process equipment. The contract term will be for 1 year with an option for 2 one-year renewals, and total price is the $30,000.
Any other comments or questions? Like to entertain a motion, please?
Dan Lynch, make a motion.
Andrew Joyce, a second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6690 is approved. Thank you, Angelo. Next on the agenda is contract number 6729, the Department of Sewage Treatment. The vendor is Barton and Logibes. The estimated amount is $98,990. The estimated term is 12/15/21 through 6/30/22. The scope of service to complete a NYSERDA Flex Tech study to focus on improvements to the district sludge processing systems and the potential energy savings from those systems, improvements, excuse me. The fiscal impact is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions. Angelo?
Thank you. Yes, this is a request to enter into a contract with Barton LaJudas for the purpose of applying and completing a NYSERDA Flex Tech study. The primary focus of the study is going to look at our sludge processes, look at improvements, and then look at associated energy saving measures that are directly correlated to those improvements. We are targeting to have this study completed by May of next year so that we can respond to our consent order requirements that are currently in place.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion, please.
This is Andrew Joyce. I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6729 is approved. Thank you, Angelo.
All right, thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract number 6675. The department is Preventative Service Assistance Program. Vendor Stadium Institute. The estimated amount is $61,451. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 12/31/22. The fiscal impact, there's 3 different fiscal impacts to this contract. The county will pick up 23%, the state will pick up 37%, and the federal government will pick up 40%. And due to the length of the scope of services on this, I'll allow whoever is going to speak on behalf of this contract to do so, please. Dave, anybody?
I can jump in if you need me to, I guess. Nobody's on? Nobody's muted? All right. As you said, or as we were saying before, this is for $61,451 with for a renewal. This is 23% county funded, 37% state funded, and 40% federal. And it's the clinical sexual abuse service for the provision of specialty prevention services. I am sorry, but I'm not too familiar with this one, Mr. Clerk.
Well, I guess then I better read the entire scope of service, seeing that there's nobody here.
Yeah, that's probably best for all of us. I apologize.
So St. Anne Institute proposes to provide assessment and clinical services to children, individuals, and families who are dealing with issues related to sexual victimization and/or sexual offending. The specific services include clinical consultation and evaluations, including trauma assessment, sex offender risk assessment, and validation assessments. St. Anne's Institute will also provide specialized sexual abuse treatment services. The overarching goal for this program is the resolution of concerns related to the sexual victimization/offending behavior so that there is a reduced risk of foster care placement and/or a reduction in length of placement. seeing that there's nobody here to speak on behalf of that, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, this is Dan Lynch. I'll make that motion, but I think we should highlight, Mr. Clerk and Chairman Joyce, the fact that this is a renewal of a contract previously awarded by this board. So based upon that and the recitation that you just provided, this is Dan. Again, I'll make the motion.
Andrew Joyce, a second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Thank you, Dan. Contract number 6719, the Department of Central Purchasing. Estimated term is 1/12/22 through 1/11/23. The scope of service to purchase law enforcement supplies on an as-needed basis for various Albany County agencies. This is 100% county funded. Now open the floor for comments or questions.
This is Karen Storm of the Purchasing Department, and this is just a renewal for law enforcement purchases supplies.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Andrew Joyce will make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6719 is approved. Contract number 6701, Department is purchasing. The vendor is DS Service of America. The estimated amount is $53,298. Estimated term is 3/1/22 through 2/29/24. Scope of service is supply and delivery of bottled water and rental of water coolers as requested by various county facilities. The full scope of service is attached to the contract, and this is 100% county funded. Open the floor for comments or questions.
This is Karen Storm again. This is our one and only renewal. It's for 2 years with the current vendor supplying our water. We're having much better luck with this vendor than we did our last.
Any other comments or questions? Make a motion.
Dan Lynch will make that motion.
Andrew Joyce, a second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Contract 6701 is approved. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Contract number 6666. Department is Building Services. The vendor is Rise Engineering. The estimated amount is $71,833. The estimated term is 1/1/22 through 6/30/23. The scope of service is utilizing National Grid's SBC incentives program. All office lighting at the Board of Elections, Hall of Records, and the Albany County Resource Center will be changed to LED lighting. Rise Engineering will supply all materials and labor to complete the proposed LED upgrades and dispose of all existing fixtures. The fiscal impact is 100% to the county. I now open the floor for comments or questions, and please state your name for the record.
Good evening. This is David Latina for Department of General Services. This is actually a second round of National Grid's LED lighting projects that we're getting into right now. Before, we've done the DSS building, the Beaver Street Garage, 112 State Street, Mental Health, CAC, and the Health Department with this program. It shows us a lot of savings as far as our electrical costs go. This is anticipated to save the county another close to $24,000 a year in total estimated savings.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
This is Andrew Joyce. I'll make the motion.
Dan Lynch will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract number 6666 is approved. Thank you, Commissioner Latina.
Thank you very much.
Before closing, Dan, will you be signing everything?
Yes, I have signed all the contracts.
All right, thank you. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting at 4:55 p.m.
So Dan Lynch, I'll make that motion.
Andrew Joyce, a second. I wish everyone a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
Likewise, you too, Chairman. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned at 4:55 p.m. Thank you to everybody. And again, I'll state the same thing. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you all.